gonna get very nerdy tonight. More nerdy than usual.
I said you'll have fun, and I won't disappoint you.
Welcome, fellow Kiss fans. Welcome to It's All For You Demons, celebrating the fun of being a Kiss fan. And tonight, nerd fun. Like, full-on nerd. Like, more nerd than we've ever gone before. I know most of our videos are nerdy, but tonight, we're really diving into nerd. And I'll just save all the intro to what we're doing after we HOTFACE. My HOTFACE this weekend is cups. Xander posted on Kiss Museum some magic cups. I have 2 jeans. Here are the jean cups. Super fun. I love these things. Very, very, we didn't have magic markets here in Kansas City, or St. Joe. We had 7-Elevens, and these are so 7-Eleven. And I was very tempted to pick up an Ace, but holding off. Cups are a thing. That's a long collection to achieve, unless you buy the entire set all at once and spend $3,000. That's a long collection to commit yourself to, and so I'm already in it. Got 2 jeans, but it's just gonna be a long... Cups are like army kits. They just take some time. And I'm also Scream Machine cups. I at least want one of those. I would like every color. You know what? Again, positivity. We're gonna get every color of the Scream Machine cups, but that's, again, like an army kit. Just takes time. What are your HOTFACEs? Leave those below and let's wax. Now, tonight's topic. Another collecting rabbit hole that's just gonna take a lot of time, and it's just like army kits, man. Army kits are a devotion. You have to dedicate yourself to them, and then you have to put them on the back burner, and they may sit on the back burner for years, and sometimes that's frustrating because you're a collector, you want it all at once. It's the fun of doing it, I guess, is the longevity of it. And tonight we are talking longevity because in the past we've been talking checklist, and recently I made an army kit checklist, right? And I finished the 78 solo army kit, and that was a lot of fun. I still have a Love Gun and Double Platinum in progress. Again, haven't even thought or touched those in months, but that's the fun of this, right? Also created a merch form poster checklist, and you may say, why would you do that? They're all on the merch forms. You know exactly what posters are out there, but to me, trading card checklists were a lot of fun when I was a kid, and so having a lot of fun as an adult is making checklist. One poster recently, Kiss Museum again, thank you Xander, is checked off of the merch form checklist. So let's look at that before we dive into the full nerdery of tonight's topic, which you all are probably reading the title of this and saying, what in the hell is that boy talking about? But first, the merch form poster checklist. Enter a Seinfeld quote from the contest.
And then there were 2.
Because now I only have 2 posters left on my merch form poster checklist. And that is pretty cool and pretty amazing. This has been a wonderful year of posters for me. The Destroyer foil poster came into the Wax Night house a few years ago at Christmas time. My very first Macari purchase. Never purchased off Macari, and that was the one. And tonight, its counterpart has arrived. The Love Gun foil poster. And here it is in all of its glory. Foiled up. Look at that shine. Oh my goodness, the fun. The fun of that. I don't even want to read what the additional copies were from Boutwell. For additional copies, send $4. It's about, well, $4 freaking dollars, but there it is. The Love Gun foil, all shiny and mylar'd up. And now there's only 2. Now for tonight's nerdery fun, I have known my entire life that Danny and I are not normal Kiss fans. We've just always looked at things differently than the average Kiss fan. Very strange. We're just nerds at heart. Case in point, we always associated the Peter Criss solo album to rainy days, downtown Kansas City, and the show Good Times. And this is before we knew that a kid wore the Peter Criss solo shirt on an episode of Good Times. So it's just very nerdy. Like, we just get nerdy with stuff. We're not big into facts. We're not big into album charts and record sales and tour set list. We're big into nerd things. And when I started this channel, for some reason, I love the childhood fun of Kiss. Now, I was not a Kiss fan in '78, but I was a Star Wars fan in '78. And so I know that toy store magic of being a fan of an entity. And I imagine how fun it would have been for a kid in 1978 to be a Kiss fan. So I associated my childhood with TG&Y. It was a, 5 and dime store in the Midwest, and your mom would have to go there to get a mop or something, and you would go to that toy aisle. And it was just jigsaw puzzle, yo-yo, fun, superheroes, Spider-Man, Star Wars, fun. And I associate that fun of what it would have been for kids in the 70s to go to TG&Y and find all this cool Kiss stuff. So when I very first started this channel, for some reason, I created these Embrace the TG&Y of Kiss stickers. And I know it made no sense to anyone else in the world, but Dan and myself, we got it. We understand what that means, what that fever is. There is a magic in that TG&Y, childhood, kid, going to TG&Y in 1978 and walking away with a Kiss toy. There's magic to that. And so that is what I wanted to tap into with this channel with Kiss. I wanted to embrace that TG&Y of Kiss, that fun, that magic, that childhood charm of Kiss. That's what I was aiming for, and I probably have missed that in the 8 years we've been on YouTube, but we're trying. We're trying. Every Friday night we're giving it a good college go. Long story short, and sorry for the long story, but long story short, my friend Mike Jackson said, you should make a checklist for the toys. Now, that would be every Kiss item in the world. So, out of pure nerddom and escape from the real world, I have created a 1977 TG&Y checklist of toys. And this is only 1977. These are the major heavy hitters that I feel a kid would have walked into TG&Y in 1977 and maybe found these. And they go: the Chevy Custom Van model kit. Models inside here. This would have been a magical score for a kid in 1977. One of the coolest boxes of any piece of Kiss merch, I'm gonna say. How tempting would it have been to put these stickers on your bedroom wall instead of your model van? The jigsaw puzzles, another freaking wonderful summer day for a kid to go into TG&Y with his parents and pick up both these puzzles. These puzzles are framed somewhere in this house in a box. So, but Love Gun's my favorite one because the actual puzzle does not have the logo on it, which I think is very cool. It's just the artwork. The 77 spiral notebooks, the cube, and the Alive 2 shots. Again, how fun to go back to school with these. The poster put-ons, I used to have these framed, but with Wax Night Basement 2.0 coming soon, I want more wall space for posters, so I just put these in record sleeves with the little background. The US tour, the Alive 2 shot, which is lovingly called Live 2, and Love Gun, which this is also featured in an Army kit. It's loose, so I'll have to snag another one of these sometime for the Love Gun Army kit. But these are a lot of fun. I've had these forever, and these are, I remember when I first started diving down into collecting, these were one of the very first things I ever bought. So they're just a lot of fun, and I love the packaging. So TG&Y. The radio, never had one in the box, but would love to have one day. It's another thing of collecting, is like upgrading at some point, but this is a lot of fun. Again, something if I got as a kid, I would think it played Kiss music all day, and I would probably be disappointed that you're listening to the Carpenters on this. Toy guitar, which I do not have. There are 3 versions of the toy guitar, and of course would be cooler carded or in a box, but I do not have that. Would be amazing to buy. And there's a Village People guitar too, which is also really cool. And talking about the Kiss guitar, my wife follows a reseller who was driving to work, drove past a pile of trash out for collection, and sitting against the trash can was a Kiss guitar wrapped in the box. And he went and knocked on the door and said, "Are you throwing that away?" And they said yes. And he took said guitar, sold it on eBay, just sitting there waiting to be thrown out. Magic happens. Magic happens. The lunchbox and thermos. I do probably need to upgrade this lunchbox, but I actually don't want to. This lunchbox I purchased at a Kiss Expo before smartphones, and got the lunchbox and the thermos for $30. So it's kind of special to me to have this because I've had it for so long, and I had one of my most fun Kiss days ever, because I saw this lunchbox in 1980 when I was in the 1st grade, and I took this lunchbox back to that elementary school to kind of relive that moment. And this is one of my favorite pieces ever. Will never lose it, and I don't think I'm going to upgrade because it just kind of has a special place in my heart. Now the 2 poster art set, you remember getting these at like Joann's craft store when you were a little kid, and those markers would literally last maybe 15 minutes, and there is no way you're going to color that entire poster with those markers. But man, these are so much fun. Super hard to come by, but it's on the list. A one-day item for sure. That's the thing with these, man. You just got to sit and wait. It's kind of like the rotisserie thing when we were little.
Set it and forget it.
Marvel Comics Super Special #1. This is the actual comic that Dan Thompson purchased from Dragon's Lair for $15 when I was a sophomore in high school. He remembered seeing this as a kid. I had never seen it before, and we sat in his Camaro in the comic shop parking lot and looked at this, and could not, my eyes just were amazed at the history that was right before my face. Those are good times, man. Very good times. That was the history of me becoming a fan, the history of Dan re-finding his lost history, and we've just been on this road ever since. So much fun. Now these last 2 items are very much a longevity hunt, an Army kit type hunt. We need to come up with a code word for that. Enlisting in the Army. That's what we're going to say. When you are going down a rabbit hole that's going to take years, you're enlisting in the Army. Army kits are the same way. Jewelry is very much the same way, and I almost debated not including these in the checklist. The logo necklace display box tells me that these were on display in some stores. Maybe not TG&Y in 1977, but hey, we're just daydreaming here, right? We're just having fun. So jewelry is on the list, and in 1977 it was all logo necklaces pins, and rings. We'll get into the other stuff in 78. I have no jewelry at all. I would like a logo necklace in the Love Gun little display, little blue case. I love those cases. I just think that is so cool, and that would be such a cool thing to display. So that may be the first piece of jewelry I go after, but jewelry is something I've never gone down that rabbit hole. My buddy FL Dog has plenty and has tiptoed down that rabbit hole. I don't know, just never have done it because you're joining the Army, and one day I will join the Army and go down that rabbit hole. The other is the buttons, and I had one Hot Shot jean button, but I gifted it to a fellow Kiss fan who deserved that button. Again, another rabbit hole I would love to go down, another rabbit hole our buddy FL Dog has gone down and has plenty. I know he has both the misprint group shot and the normal, I think. So another rabbit hole I've never gone down because, once again, you're joining the Army doing it. So this is the fun of this collection, is a lot of this stuff is joining the Army. You are going to spend a long time trying to complete this checklist, but that's half the fun. There you have the 1977 TG&Y checklist. Again, I make no sense to most Kiss fans, but that's all right in my world. And that's all right in Shandy's world as well. Thank you for hanging with us tonight and waxing, talking, a little rock and roll nostalgia, collecting Kiss, being a complete nerd with your collection. Means the world to us that you're here. Means the world to us that you comment. We read every comment and we respond to every comment. So thank you, thank you, thank you for spending your Friday nights with us. Be good to your babies. Spay, neuter, microchip. Take care. Be safe. We will talk to you